what are your thoughts on monogamy? It's not for everyone.
I just think everyone has their own personal thing. I think like we have this thing that like women are naturally monogamous, men are naturally not as monogamous, women just get super attached. I don't think it's as, I think we've made it super general. I don't think everyone's monogamous. I don't think everyone's poly. I don't think everyone's like, people just like what they like. Some people.
Sure. But so are you saying women aren't naturally monogamous? That's what you wrote here in your pre-show notes. I did write that.
So I think maybe to clarify, I just don't think that.
Don't walk it back.
I'm not walking back, okay. But you're asking me to you're asking me I'm telling you what I meant. Yeah. Because I was in a DM, so I couldn't.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. You're fine.
I don't think that every single woman, just because you have a vagina, are you monogamous and do you get emotionally attached to everyone you have sex with? I just think that's a little bit of like a generalization that has been made about girls, is that they every time you have sex with a guy, you're in love with them, you fall in love, but guys can just have sex with anyone and they don't get super attached. Like, I know guys that get attached super quick. I know girls that get attached super quick. I know girls that have sex with a bunch of people and don't care about any of them, and vice versa. So that's what I'm saying. Like I said from the beginning, which you could quote, is that monogamy, poly, it depends what you're into. Sure.
So perhaps just a yes or no on this. You said women aren't naturally monogamous. That's your position? No,
I just said my position. Again, that was like a very concise DM, so I know there were other sentences before and after, sure. But what I'm saying is just because you can't answer it yes or no, is that just because you have a vagina doesn't mean that you're more super inclined to being monogamous. That's all I meant by that.
Would you never be monogamous?
No, I've been monogamous before.
Oh.
I'm not like I didn't.
I think it depends. Like, just because I know you so well, I think what you might be trying to say, and tell me if I'm wrong, is historically humans weren't monogamous, and then monogamy became like a thing like over time ingrained in the culture. And so just like in general, not every woman is going to have the urge to be monogamous, or some women don't want to be monogamous but feel the pressure from where they grew up, what religion they're in, that sort of thing. So I think you can say that for men and women. Exactly. It's like monogamy isn't both for everybody.
That's all.
It's just... Okay. Going around the table, or wait, I don't know if I went...
Can I add one more thing?
Sure.
I think what we lack is the freedom of choice. Too much of what people do is based on what others want us to do. That's it.
I don't even know what that means.
So, like, an example with marriage. There is so much pressure, especially for women, to get married and have children by a certain age.
Yeah, that's because if they don't do that, they can't have children.
I mean, that's debatable.
No, it's not debatable.
42.
No, it's not. No, listen. The amount of damage that you do that drastically can happen to you and the child just over the age of 24 drastically increases every single year. Every single year that you hold out. By the time you're 40, if you're trying to have kids, how many kids do you think you're going to have versus a 25-year-old?
Men's sperm count drops too as they get older, just so you know. It's for both of us.
Generally speaking, yes, but a lot of it depends on your lifestyle, because we all age differently.
Wait a second. Yes, I mean, that's true, I guess, that we all have different effects when it comes to age. I would agree to that. But we don't all age differently, right? So we all age at exactly the same rate as everybody else.
I disagree.
Really? So if I'm 1 year old and you're 1 year old, how old are both of us?
Depends how you perceive time.
It depends on how you perceive.
Don't you think?
Well, I think perhaps she's saying, like, if you take good care of your health, there's some longevity.
Yes, the effects. Yeah. So sure, you can have the effects, but we age at the same rate.
But don't you think there's other things that can age you faster, like trauma, drugs, losses?
Well,
wait, hold on. Just
those are effects.
538 donated $199. When was monogamy or mating for life something we mammals did not do? Lots of birds, reptiles, and amphibians do it. Show me a successful polygamous society with matriarch or king with harems.
Good point. Very good point. Bone Man 538.
Yeah, I definitely was saying like we don't like have an instinct to want to procreate and like be with other people, but like, you don't see like a lot of species just like clinging on to one other species. But yeah, some do. Some like, you know, like they say lobsters, they mate for life. When they meet their mate, they're like, whatever. And then there's other like species that like they just be fucking everybody.
Gorillas have like this one king and then they have multiple.
When you take human behavior, right?
Yes.
We're not gonna compare ourselves to lions, right?
Biology, but we still have primal instincts.
We're animals.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
But we also have higher faculties, so we can know how to do things which are good for us, even regardless of what our own carnal natures are. So, for instance, it might feel good to do thing which ends up hurting you in the long run, so you don't do that thing even though it feels good. Like, for instance, eating tons of chocolate in a single sitting. Might feel good, probably not very good for you, so lots of people would avoid doing it, right? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we end up with like pure hedonism. So the reason monogamy is so good for the world is because it used to be that only a small subsect of men were able to procreate ever, because women are the gatekeepers of sex. So what happened is all the high status men would get the mass majority of women. That's what would happen. What happened when monogamy is really introduced, especially through Christian ethics, what ended up happening is now everybody has a mate. You see societal violence go way down. You see people are able to genetically replicate themselves. And so the biggest value to a species moving forward is replication, right? You have to be able to replicate yourself.
I'm going to agree with that. I just don't think that just because we do it doesn't mean everyone wants to do it.
Yeah, well...
Not saying it isn't good for society. I think
But that's just kind of like trivially
valid.
Yeah, but that's just kind of trivially true, right? So you can say that about everything. Like, not everybody wants to do everything. That's true, but we're kind of talking in a general broad view.
Society, yes.